We're here today to talk a little bit about casting techniques and some techniques that will help you fish some of the Westcountry rivers a little bit more efficiently, where we're restricted by back casting room due to trees, banks, big rocks. I'm going to start off by showing you a circle C. Very easy cast to learn. Now, if we imagine I'm on a river now, the river's flowing that way, so my line is in a fished out position. I'm casting over towards the trees here, the lines come back in towards my bank and I want to recast. So I'll start with this circle C cast is I lift and our C shaped always comes back in towards the bank. So lift, I do my C shape. My C shape is going to be around these trees, which are my target. So I'm facing my target and that C shape around, and as I come around and come over the top of the C, I come back in towards the bank. Let me just show you that again. I lift, I come in, over the top and back in. And what that's done, it's manipulated the line back towards me. So if I trace over the top of the line with the tip of the rod, gradually climbing into the position, my sort of roll cast position, if I like. So I just stroke forward. Let's put that all together. So my C shape, back in towards the bank, trace over the line. Real nice easy cast. Let's just do that again. And try and do it as slow as we can. So lift, C shape, always into the bank, over the top, back into the bank. Now, this is really important now. If I start too high here, I get all out of control and I don't get a very nice shape. My D loop, as we call it, is a nasty shape. It's hard to control, especially if there's a bit of wind, if we start too high. So let's just get into that position again. So start low, not right on the surface of the water, just off, so 6 inches off, and just gently rise. Real nice simple cast. It's got a lot of vertical lift. If you see when I'm doing my C shape, nice and steady, and I've got this vertically lifting, so if you've got a sunk line, it's really pulling it to the surface quickly. And it's, compared to a lot of casts, we lift, 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 lift. And actually when we go over the top, because we speed up, the line is still going in that position. So it's still got a lot of lift into it. Be careful if you've got a very heavy fly, when you've done this bit, if you see the leader go across the top of the rod, if you've got a heavy fly, you will break your rod. So I'll just show you that again. If you don't get your rod out the way and you collide with that leader, if you've got a tungsten cone head or something like that, hits your rod, it might not break it then, but you snag it or give it a good pull, you'll snap your rod. So watch again, circle C, back in underneath. Keep the rod low when you come in towards the bank. If we stay high all the way through, we'll tag that fly and we're going to be in trouble. Conditions we'd use this in, windage wise, we're actually placing the anchor upstream of us. So upstream wind, fantastic, because an upstream wind is going to take it away from us again. So we're safe to use that. In a downstream wind, if we do that cast, now if we had a wind coming straight onto my back, I come round here and I've got a chance of wrapping it around me and ending up with a fly in my ear, which I don't want to do. So upstream anchor, upstream wind. We'll move on to another cast. Now this cast is another good cast for heavy flies, sunk lines, great for getting angle changes, but it doesn't work when you've got an upstream wind because this cast has a downstream anchor. And what I mean with it, so we're in our fished out position, Now, start of this cast, we lift nice and steady. And all I've done is bring the line up towards me. So our anchor is a rod length away from us. It's just over rod length, but an ideal position for it to be in. If our anchor is too far away, like that, and when I come round gathering the line up to here, you can see I've got this L shape. So when I come forward, I get this sort of suck on the line, which is going to rob us of power. They call it a bloody L. And that's what happens when the line isn't drawn far enough up. We come back and we've got this horrible L shape which sucks onto the end of the line. You know, I'm getting away with it now because I've got a floating line and a floating bit of yarn on there. But if in a fishing situation with a heavy fly, it would all land in a heap and be very untidy. So we're going back to downstream wind, downstream anchor. We lift, bring the line back towards us. Now I'm facing towards this bench here, and our line, as you can see, is horizontal to it. What happens when I come around, gently lifting, it actually turns, when I come into my roll cast position, it turns the line from here to here. So it's 180 degrees. So it's when we actually get our D-loop formed, I come around, it's like a bicycle wheel. It's like if you had a bicycle wheel here, you've lined everything up and you just send it out. Let me just show you that again. So the top and the bottom legs of the loop are over the top of each other, near enough. If we have that anchor too far away from us, you can also see that our loop, our legs of our loop, the top one's over here, the bottom one's here, it's going to be fairly inefficient. So the closer we can get them together, the more efficient it's going to be. So let's just do a few. So draw the line back towards me. Shorter line. If I do this with a short piece of line, ooh, our anchor's gone way too far. So we have to adjust where we place our anchor to the length of line we've got out. So with this length of line, that's all I can do. When we have a longer length of line, I get a bit more line out here. I really have to properly stretch and come further in towards the bank with my rod, and you can see the shape it's made. So when I come back, I'm right over the line. And if I do that a little bit faster, we should get a better cast out of it. Okay, so that's a reasonable length of line. Real good cast of double spey. So we've done our circle C, we've done a double spey, and you're all saying, where's the single spey? We'll come on to that. Single spey is a spey cast that's sort of, I don't know, it's the sort of go-to one of your traditional spey casting, I suppose, but it's actually one of the hardest spey casts to do. It looks very simple, but it's very timing crucial. The spey casts that I've been showing you are sustained anchor. So, you know, with our double spey here, I know we're on a lake and we haven't got running water, but even if we had running water, I still got, you know, a second to get it all done. With a single spey, it's completely crucial, the timing, and we call them kiss and go. So the line, you draw the line back towards you, hits the surface of the water, kiss and go. So let's demonstrate that. I'm going to cast back over towards those trees. I'm lined up towards my target. and go. So it starts with a lift. I rotate my body. There's a real crucial thing that's quite subtle in it. When we're drawing back, if I don't raise the rod, the anchor goes way too far back. You want to land the anchor somewhere here. Wherever, if we imagine this rod here stuck out at 90 degrees here, wherever I want to cast, that's where the anchor wants to be. So if I'm casting towards that bench, anchor lands there. Casting towards those trees there, anchor wants to be here. Okay, so that's a good guider. Stick your rod, so you've got 90 degrees here from your belly button to your rod here, and wherever you face there, and that's where you want to cast, if that's the direction you want to cast, your anchor must land here. So let's get this out. So if we don't put that, if we don't have much of a rise, so we stroke back, if we continue on the same plane, the anchor won't set. This lift is what pushes the line down and forms our anchor. And remember what we were saying about position of our anchor. If I want to have, let's just put this down here. So I'm going to have, say, a 75 degree angle change. So I'm going to cast in this direction, so I want my anchor 90 degree here with our belly button here. That's where I want my anchor to land. Simples. There are other things you can do to get more distance in with your spey casting, where we would overhead cast and put a haul into it. When we get in distance, we can do the same with our spey casting, and any of our spey casts we can put a haul into them. And with our single spey, you'd haul at the same time as you would with an overhead cast. And I don't want to go too much into hauling because it might confuse the matter. I think it's probably more important to get the basic gist of the spey cast, and when you've got the spey cast, hauling will come naturally like it would with your overhead casting. So there's one more cast I want to show you, and it's called a snake roll. I'm pretty sure why I want to talk about the snake roll, and it's very relevant to people of North Devon, is Simon Goresworth. I think he came up with the snake roll and named it the snake roll, and Simon now lives in America, but he did grow up on the River Torridge and caught lots of salmon, lots of trout, absolutely an amazing angler. So as a bit of a tribute to Simon, and we are in the West Country, we'll do a snake roll. So if I pop the line out here so it's easy to see it, a snake roll, eh? What we're going to do, we're going to start with a lift again. Always start with the rod down on the water. So we lift and a circle and back. That's fairly slow motion, so let's do it again. So lift, going anti-clockwise here, over the top. Let's do it again. Lift, we're going anti-clockwise, over the top. And now you can see also when we were talking on the single spey, when I was coming back and making that lift, I'm doing the same lift, which is setting the line back down onto the water. You watch real close. And that lift sets it down. And, why are you doing this sort of snake movement? It's getting the line moving. It's giving us a long stroke. If I move my rod between here and here in this straight line, that's the distance it's travelling. But if I put wiggles in it, the distance the tip's travelled is a long way. So here the tip of the rod is travelling a long way, and it's giving me time do it nice and slow. You can do squished snake rolls like that. You can make them big, so if you had a bit of a heavy fly on and you wanted to slow everything down, big slow movements. Wanted to cut into the wind, squishy movements. Low and slow, I think Tim Smith, he's an instructor at your underarms, one of his things. Low and fast and low, slow and high. So the lower we go, the faster we're going to have to move everything. But when we're starting to do this cast to begin with, I'm going to go nice and slow. There we go. So we'll end on the snake roll. Thanks for watching. I hope that's been of some benefit and you've understood a few of these casts. Tight lines.